Hi, Mohin.
Oh, hello. Hi, Zoe. I think we can start now.
Mhm.
Just checking on the number of viewers who've joined.
Mhm.
Please check with Advait. Can we check the number of viewers or we can start now? So, good afternoon to all the viewers. My name is Mohin Shrestha and I'm an education consultant with Aussizz Group NSW. And I would like to welcome all of you to our live session. So the purpose of this live session is to provide information to our prospective students and also to facilitate them by connecting them with university representatives. And today, this live session is quite special because we have a very special guest with us today. So today we have a representative from University of Newcastle, Miss Zoe Lin. Hi, Zoe. Thank you for giving us your valuable time today.
Hi, Mohin. It's my pleasure to join this Aussizz Group live session for the first time. So I'm the Student Recruitment Officer at the University of Newcastle. I'm currently based in Sydney. I guess this session will be kick off in about a few minutes, where we will wait until a few people to join, and we will start then.
And just to give you a rundown of what to expect with this live session for our viewers as well. So we have a series of questions that usually prospective students send us. So we'll be going through a Q&A session. And we will also open the floor at the end of the session for our viewers to ask for questions if they have any queries or any doubts that they would like to discuss with you. We'll do that at the end of the session as well. So this session will be anywhere from half an hour, 45 minutes. And we'll see as we'll try to answer as many questions as we can while we proceed with the session. So every year we do these live sessions with universities, and this whole of October and November, we will be going live as well with universities so that we can provide that platform for students at the comfort of their home. Maybe we'll be starting in a few minutes and then yep, I think we can start now. Are we ready? Sorry, shall we go through the questions now?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Bring them up.
So the first question we have is basically just a rundown of the brief history of the university, the vision the university has, just University of Newcastle.
The University of Newcastle established in 1965, so basically roughly around 58 years ago. We consider the regional university of the New South Wales, and Newcastle City is the second largest city of New South Wales. Did you say campuses as well?
Yes, so the locations for University of Newcastle.
Oh, the locations, yes. So we currently have 5 campuses in Australia. That's located in Newcastle Callaghan, which is our main campus, Newcastle CBD campus, 2 campuses in the Central Coast, which is between Sydney and Newcastle. That is Gosford campus and Orinda campus. And I'm currently based in Newcastle Sydney campus. Sydney CBD campus.
Perfect. When you hear the University of Newcastle, it really gives a Hogwarts vibe. Maybe it's because of the castle term. But when I saw the campus, it's magnificent and modern. Would you like to tell something about the campus as well?
The campus facilities wise, we definitely do offer student accommodation on campus. We have campuses itself and also the health and medical service libraries. The other service supports that we can also offer to our international students is there are health and medical services, career support. So let's say if the student wants to have some assistance looking for jobs, and also the airport pickup services if the student who are newly arrived in Australia and don't know their way to get to Newcastle. We also have academic support throughout your studies, financial support as well, such as scholarship and reduced COE deposits for international students who going through some financial hardship. And by the way, the photo you see from my background is actually the city of Newcastle.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Well, University of Newcastle, it's a world-class university. So could you tell us a bit about the rankings nationally and internationally as well?
Yep. So recently our university it's been ranked top 173 position in the world, according to the US World University. So which is a really big step up for us compared to last year. We moved up 19 seats.
Wow, that's great. I can see that we have some questions coming in as well. So just to let the viewers know that we'll be answering these questions at the end of our session.
Sure.
Moving on to the third question, I think this one is quite crucial as well. What campus facilities are available to support international students with regards to health services or cultural integration programs, accommodation?
Yep. That's which I just mentioned about these all campus services that are available at each of the campuses, where except actually Sydney, we don't have student accommodation here, but then most of the university in regional and the Central Coast will have student on campus and off campus accommodation. And not to mention for 2024 intake, students who are enrolling with us, they will get a accommodation guarantee if they accept the offer and then reserve the accommodation within a couple of weeks. So then students from a different states, or they were changing schools from one provider to another, they can secure their accommodation in advance.
Wow, that's wonderful. So these accommodations, these are in campus or?
We have on campus, yeah. The student accommodation guarantee is actually on campus.
Moving on to the next question.
Sure.
What is the university's commitment to inclusivity and diversity on campus?
Okay, good question. Our university recruits over 7,000 international students every year across all campuses, of course. And then we have more than 168,000 students, alumni based in 153 countries. So this can show a big diversity on campus, and the student they study with on campus in classrooms, they're all coming from all over the world. So we welcome all the students coming from different countries.
I also saw in the rankings that University of Newcastle comes first in social equity as well. Equality as well.
Yep.
Moving on, next question. What are some of the popular courses University of Newcastle offers? And if you could tell us one of the major programs offered there as well.
Sure. I would say the top 5 degrees that we have the most international students enrolled in are the Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Business, Master of IT, MBA, and also Computer Science and Bachelor of Nursing.
Perfect. And the upcoming intakes for these courses would be?
Okay. For all the undergraduate degrees, we have semester intakes, which is 2 semester intakes, one in February, which is 26th of February. And then we have, for all the master, which is postgraduate degrees, we have trimester system, which is 3 times a year in January, May, and September. And then the next upcoming intake for postgraduate degree is 23rd of January. So one in 23rd of January and the other one is the 26th of February next year, would you consider the closest intake?
So the January ones would be trimester or semester system?
Trimester. So
And
trimester for postgrad and semester for undergraduate degree.
Undergrad.
Mm.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. What are the major entry requirements for international students, including language proficiency and academic qualification?
Okay. For the language-wise, we do accept PT academic, IELTS academic, and OET for language proficiency. But for academic, we do consider your overseas qualification that it's from year 12 above. So that is including year 12 high school, your diploma or your undergrad or your postgraduate. These are all considered as academic qualification and to consider leading towards your future study at Newcastle.
Is there any other additional requirements or documentations needed for international students?
Yes. So for all the international students, you are required to present a document that is no more than 300 words describing why do you want to study the program that you chose at Newcastle Uni. So this is called the study of purpose or statement of purpose, justifying the reason why you choose the particular program at the University of Newcastle.
Is there any prerequisites in terms of academic qualification? Is there a bar? There's a certain percentage that we are looking for in terms of academic?
Yes. So the international student will obviously have to complete a qualification that it meets entry requirement. When you say complete, the student will have to pass the degree. But then there is a scholarship available for international students where we do require certain GPA, which we might be talking about later, but I don't mind to share it now. We do require international students to complete at a GPA 4.7 out of 7 equivalent to get the scholarship from us.
Also, regarding the language proficiency scores, as we accept PT and IELTS as well. Now, yes. I think especially for nursing, there is a certain score requirement, which is 65 in PT, and that is 7 in IELTS.
Yeah. So the nursing degree is one of the degree that the student have to complete, 7 in each band. We do accept PT and IELTS, and we also accept 2 tests. So the student can take 2 same kind of tests within the 6 months range. Then we can combine those 2. As long as student meet 7 in each band, then they will meet the requirement for Bachelor of Nursing. But anything below 7, no.
It's not accepted. So the one where we combine the test, it has to be within the duration of 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months is a requirement.
Thank you. Coming to the second last question, that is, how does the university help in placements for students? And if you could mention some industry partnerships or internships that students have worked with.
So you just mentioned about nursing. So degree like nursing, they require 800 hours of work placement during their qualifications. So with we offer Bachelor of Nursing at Gosford campus and Callaghan campus. Gosford campus, as an example, we place our student in Gosford Hospital, which is only 1 minute walk away from their campus or classrooms. So this is where we make sure the student will be able to complete their required hours, so to become a registered nursing, or any degree that requires a student to complete a certain hour of work placement in order for them to complete the registration. The school, the university will have to make sure that we'll be able to get those facilities and work placement done, with before actually they commenced. So these are all pre-arranged for our international students, so that they don't miss out. Pardon?
That is done by the university too.
That's right. That's right.
And
sorry,
please go ahead.
So I do want to mention there is a sum of the work placement travel time between your classroom and the work placement that is all within 1 hour, okay, travel time. So this is what we can make sure our students will be able to, you know, you don't have to travel very far away from your classroom to your work placement.
They can save on the commute time.
Definitely, yeah.
Finally, the last question from our Q&A list is, does the University of Newcastle offer any scholarships or financial aid opportunities for international students?
Yep. So as mentioned previously, we do offer international students scholarship. That is International Student Excellence Scholarship, meaning the student will have to meet the minimum academic achievement at GPA 4.7 out of 7.0. Then it's at quota-based degrees. So make sure you speak to your counselors or education planner to see the program that you picked at Newcastle, whether they offered scholarship. The scholarship range is from $10,000 per year to $15,000 per year, depending on the degree that you're going to pick. And also, so you just have to make sure whether your degree you picked is actually being entitled for the scholarship just prior to apply.
And the scholarship is strictly based on merits. That would be on their academic.
GPA 4.7.
4.7. So that's the cutoff for the scholarship.
That's right. That's right. And you don't have to maintain a certain academic achievement to get your future scholarship. Let's say for your second year, as long as you got your 4.7 out of 7 at the time of your entry or at the time of your application, then you'll be able to get your $10,000 or $15,000 per year of scholarship, continue until you finish the qualification with us.
And I believe you previously mentioned about the COE deposit. So that is for enrolling new students?
That's right. So that is a part of the financial release that we're giving it to international students. So it's only for students who are already in Australia. So students who are already in Australia holding an offer for 2024 intake, and then they wanted to secure the seat for T1 or future intake, they can pay $8,000 so they can get their confirmation of enrollment, and then they can do stuff they want until the commencement date to pay for the remaining of these tuition fee.
I'm sure this will definitely support the students.
Definitely, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Perfect. So we've gone through the questions that we've put on our Q&A sessions, and thank you so much, Zoe, for answering all of them. I think this has given a lot of clarity to our viewers as well. I can see that in the chat box we have a few questions, so we can open the floor for questions as well.
Yeah.
We have Sunil Shah. His question is, I have my sister. She has a 57.6%, and she's from Nepal. Which course she can get admission for her bachelor degree? She has studied +2 science from CBSE Board India. I believe this is more of a, I think education counseling is so your sister, Sunil. So definitely you can reach out to us. Any of our education consultants would be happy to assist you in terms of selecting your preferred course. Of course, if she comes from a science background, then definitely healthcare sectors would be the right options for you. But like how Zoe mentioned, for healthcare courses, there might be your IELTS prerequisite that we have to meet as well, or PT talent. Let's move on to the next question. So we've got Hina Sharma, who says University of
Mhm.
Newcastle is level 1 university or level 2 university. Would you like to answer that too?
Okay. Hina, obviously you're very not you're very familiar with Australia education system. So we currently is ranked level 2 universities. I think most of the university are level 2. So that shouldn't be a big issues for students who are from Nepal or India.
Sorry. Moving on. So I think that answers your question, Hina. So University of Newcastle is in level 2. I think if you can also check if this is regarding a visa application, you can check your document checklist online as well and check that through the provider and the country as well, because some countries also have their own assessment levels.
That's right.
Moving on, next question is from Gurdeep Singh. Hi dear, good morning. I apply. So I think this is again a migration question that
That's right.
so I think for this Gurdeep, the best would be to get in touch with one of our registered migration agents, and they will be able to assist you with this. Let's move on to the next question. So we have Mr. Rupak Mulami. His question is, hi, my fiance wants to study undergraduate degree in teaching. English requirement says equivalent to IELTS 7, 7 in reading and writing, 8 in speaking and reading, 7 point IELTS overall. Does it have to be in IELTS only or PT equivalent is accepted?
PT equivalent is acceptable, definitely. So you can do both IELTS. If it's too difficult for your fiance, then she can try PTE. It is very difficult to get at 8 in speaking or 7.5 in overall. So try a few more times, and we do accept 2 temps as well. So you can do combined, but we don't do mix different tests. So we don't do IELTS mixed with the PT. Okay, we can only do 2 PTs or 2 IELTS within the 6 months. I hope that helps, Rupa.
Thank you, Zoe. So, Zoe, I also have a question. So,
Sure.
IELTS actually has introduced the each section tests as well. If somebody has got less scores in speaking, they can now only sit for the speaking test. So that has been introduced in Sydney recently, I believe.
Are they under PT or IELTS?
Under IELTS. So IELTS is introduced if somebody's got a lower score in a particular section, they can only attempt the section, that particular section again. So if somebody's got less in speaking, they can do the speaking again and get the
that's
score.
good.
So would that be compared as a combined score for admission? So
depends. So I have not seen the certificate like this. So let's say you only got 6 in your speaking, and then you do your individual test, which is just speaking, and you got 7. Do you get a complete IELTS certificate where we can be verified that your IELTS speaking test becomes 7 instead of 6? So do you get one paper says your speaking is become 7?
That's true. I think you get a new set of results.
If you get a new one, then yes, of course, we're accepting them.
And is there any other way where you can waive these English proficiency scores? Like if somebody has a prior education in Australia or any other English-speaking country?
Yeah. So if you have complete your 5 consecutive years, for example, from your high school to if you wanted to apply for Bachelor of Nursing, for example, then you have to make sure since year 8, you have been here. You have been in Australia, study year 8, year 9, year 10, 11, and 12. So that's 5 years consecutive year in high school. Then we will consider your proof of 5 years of certificate equivalent to your can waive your English leading towards the Bachelor of Nursing and any other program as well. We will only look at your ATAR. So ATAR for local students for Bachelor of Nursing is 75. So if you got that ATAR and plus your 5 years of study in Australia, you don't need to submit IELTS or PTO or ET for the proof of English.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
I think we have a few migration questions here. But yeah, is there any key takeaways you would like to add, Zoe, before we end the session for today?
The key takeaways for us. So I would say, please do consider regional university part of your choice of universities, because there will be a lot of competitions in major cities. So regional university like in Newcastle, it's less expensive in terms of living costs. And also it's beautiful city, as you can see from the picture behind me. It's surrounded by the water, and the climate is just as beautiful as in Sydney, which is a bit warm, not as cold. And we also have the scholarship, which is $10,000 a year or $15,000 per year, depends on the degree that you pick. We also have a student accommodation guarantee, which you don't get it from a lot of regional university, but we'll make sure you have that. We have a student airport pickup, so you don't feel lost when you first arrived in Sydney, or actually Sydney only. And then we have COE deposit, which we will reduce your financial pressure to begin with. So there's a lot of support. We have a great team here, and I'm sure Aussizz Group will serve you guys really well when you have questions come up. So we will stay in touch and make sure you get all your questions answered before you entry to our program.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Thank you so much for your time today, and we really value
Thank you, Mohin.
as well. And I think before we end the session today, I hope it was very fruitful for the viewers as well. And if you have any more questions, feel free to send it to us. We are happy to answer your questions, and also stay tuned for more live sessions. We'll be coming up live again next week as well. And yeah, so that's all. So thank you so much, Zoe, for your time again. And,
thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. All right, so we'll be ending the session now, and thank you all for your time, and we'll see you guys next week.